functionality here is, it is almost similar to the normal thing which you come across in the normal programming languages. But here, our switcher will be a region. It's not a programmatical component. Switcher is a region in the OAF framework. It's a region in the OAF framework. And using this region, what all we can do? Using this region, how it will be helpful. So maybe to consider that particular functionality, just consider a business case. Consider a business case. Let us say you have a set of employees. And each particular employee belongs to a certain job. Each employee belongs to a specific job. Okay. And as per your requirement, based on the job type, you want to provide a different link. Or maybe you want to show a different image. You want to show a different image or a link. So nothing but based on the job type, we want to show some graphical components, different component for each record. Let us say if your Smith is a manager, you want to show some red flag. And let us say John is some particular assistant, you want to show some orange flag. I can say image, image, orange image. So if you want to achieve this kind of functionality, we have to use this particular switcher feature. Okay. So for this one, I have a query here. You observe. You say this one. So wherever the job type is manager, I am displaying manager flag. Wherever the job type is not manager, I am displaying non-manager flag. Let's see this. So wherever the job type is manager, I will have the value as M flag, and wherever it is different one, it is a clerk, it is not manager flag, something like that. We can have a different number of flags. It's not only that limited to only one here, but we can have a number of flags here. So what is this flag is all about? It's nothing but some kind of value here. Okay, we can have any value here. So using this particular M flag as well as NM flag, we will control the behavior of our UI level components. Okay, so once we design it, we can easily understand. What we do is we'll create a Vivo. So in this particular session, what are we trying to do now is we'll create this Vivo. We'll create a Vivo for the query, and of course the aim is always required, and page and SEO. And in the page we have a table region because we want to show multiple records. So the only option is table region. Okay. So these are the 4 components we'll come across now. So copy the Vivo, copy the query. Go to the project. New object. Oh, sorry, there. Read only access. Click on next. Okay. This simply a Vivo is created now. We'll assign this Vivo to the EM. Go to the EM. Assign this Vivo to the EM. Okay, so now we have assigned our Vivo to the EM. The next functionality is we require a page. The API will create a page as well as a controller, new, OA components, and page. So, picture, new page. So, region 1, right click here, set new controller. Picture in a PC. And we'll change the appropriate properties like region name, age definition. And in this one, create a new region. So always create a region because it will show a blue color line, so it looks very good. In this region now, I'll create a new region using wizard. Click on next, and select the Vivo. Click on next. Take the style. Go to region. Next, and So the columns. Next, so we can style text. Yeah, here like as of now, one more thing. It doesn't require the job flag. We'll use it later. So as of now, just consider these columns now. Next, message style text. The decode function, the decode which the for the column which you have to decode, that is not required to display now. You have to write in a different way. Style text and yeah. Here comes the main thing now. So as of now, we have these particular columns: EMP number, name, job, manager, title, and we have not utilized our decode column which you have written job flag, right? So our decode column is written on the job flag. So this particular job flag will have only two values, right? It will have either M flag or NF flag. So what exactly we are trying to do is, wherever the flag value is M flag, we want to display different value. Wherever it is NM flag, we want to display different value. But how do we control the behavior? So now what we do is, so in this particular table region, I will create a new component called switcher. New switcher. You see, new item. This particular region is a general switcher is a region. So what you do is, on the table region, you click on switcher. Can you see the region style name is switcher? And now in this one, I will assign my view instance. So view instance name is switcher EMP view, and the flag value is, where is that? Job flag. Okay. So here we rename it appropriately. Okay. Okay. Now in this switcher we have different cases. So in the case 1, we create a new item, and also create a new case, one more case, new case, and in the case we create an item. So this particular item, so here the switcher is having two cases. So what is your when condition? Your when condition is, if this particular item ID, so it is comparing the value using the item ID. It will compare the value using item ID. Nothing but if the flag value is M flag, I want to display a different image. So I have selected the item file as image, and you doesn't need to select any view attribute here. You want to display that image, right? So simply give the image URL. So in this one, let us say I'll give the manager as some particular one. Okay, let's say this is a manager, right? So I'll say this particular regular stuff. This is for the manager, and for this there is another user called NM flag. So for this user, we'll give another flag. So select image style and give the item ID here. So the when conditions, the case and when conditions, this particular when condition should satisfy what is the value of a decode there. Okay. And other one.
Sridhar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed it. Can you go back and show like how the case came in?
Okay. Let me delete this. Okay. Let me delete this one. Okay. So now this particular thing we already know it, right? The table region and the column we already aware. So now what exactly we are trying to do is, in a given record, when you have a data like this, we want to show a different. See, we have a large column. We want to show a different icon. If it's a text, if it is a simple text, maybe you can using your decode itself. We can do it. If it is a text, using our simple normal your SQL logic only, you can achieve it. Now it's not only SQL logic involved here. We require a different component. Nothing but let us say I want to show some image, or maybe I want to show some different hyperlink. So nothing but UI level changes you require. When you require UI level changes to be shown at each record, you want to show some different UI, then you have to use a switcher. So now what we have done is, like we have written a decode functionality. So based on the job type, it will return two values for us. One is M flag, or other is NM flag. It's only our programmatical naming convention. You can have any name here. So at any point of time, it will return M flag as well as NM flag. Okay. Now based on this particular M flag, wherever the manager is there, the value will be M flag. Wherever the other cases or other jobs are there, it will return NM flag. So now, as per my requirement, I want to show a different image for the manager, and for other people, I want to show a different image. So now what I will do is, first of all, to achieve that, in this table region, you create a new region called switcher. Right click on the table region and click on new switcher. So to this switcher, we have to apply the properties. What are the properties? The view instance as well as view attribute. Click on view instance, give the view name, and click on this one, and here the view attribute. So which attribute you have to mention? The job flag. You have to mention job flag.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. So maybe you can rename all this stuff with job flag switcher. And switcher means nothing but you'll have a cases, different cases. It's a normal concept. In a switcher, you have a case. Now this is a switch. So this is a switch statement, and now the next thing is your case and when statement. You have nothing but case statement now. So in this case statement, we can have regions as well as we can have items. But the item ID or a region ID should it will be compared with the switcher value. This particular item ID or region ID will be compared with your decode, what is the result of your decode. So now this item ID, why I am mentioning this one as so here I will mention it as M flag. This I will mention as M flag because this is what it will compare. The switcher will compare your item ID with this name at one time. So this is image, and if it is a manager, I want to display some red color icon. Image URL. Okay, this is for manager. And another case, so in the switcher I can create a new case and item. So this time I will create NM flag. Image, and maybe again you have a image URL. And there's some different icons for this guy. Image URL. Okay. So now we have mentioned different images for each particular job type. So at runtime we should see that particular behavior. Okay. So first of all we have to initialize our depot. Yeah, let's try how it looks like. Can you see different icon? The job flag, the last column. So this is how we can achieve using switcher. Maybe instead of icon you can have a different hyperlink. Maybe different things can consider. Maybe different region, different item. Those things we can consider. Maybe have different hyperlinks. That is a normal thing which will come across. Like based on your status of a record. Let us say if your status is approved, you don't want to show the update link, right? With the status is draft, you want to show an update link. So in those kind of scenarios, you'll use frequent to the switcher concept there.
So this case region can be defined at item level or row level, or it can be created on region level.
See, the switcher is a switcher. First of all, the switcher itself is a region. Okay, the switcher is a region. In the switcher region, we have different items. Okay, so now in our case, we have used this particular switcher region in one of the VBO. Nothing but table region we have displayed, right? The table region we have displayed, but you can also have the switcher region independently. You can also have a region, this switcher region independently also. Now, see here in the region 1, I can have a switcher. I can have a region whose style is a switcher. I can have a switcher like this. It's a kind of a region itself. It's kind of a region, and you have to provide the VO and attributes if you work accordingly. But in our case, we have provided this particular switcher region inside the table region. Inside the table region, we have provided. Is it clear or?
Right.
So inside the switcher region, we have provided
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
the table region. See, within a region, we can also have a region, right? Within the region, we can also have a region.
Right, right. So my question was,
Mhm.
can this switcher region
Mhm.
be used to control another region?
Yeah, of course. That is there already. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you. Let us say, uh, now see here, in the switcher region we have it, right? So now what I will do is, wherever NM flag is, right, instead of this image, just I'll delete this one. Instead of this one, I'll say new region. New region. Okay. In this region, I'll display my flag now. In this region, I'll display my flag. This region ID should be NM flag. This region ID should be NM flag. Okay. And now we can have all the data. Let us say I want to show image, or maybe you can show different number of columns. Just observe this one. This time we'll do in a different way now. Let's say I'll show one image, and also I'll show you one more. I just like to show you one more column also. In this region, we'll show one more item also. Let's say we'll show the high date other column. Date is right as well as return date. Okay. Now, what it is happening? We have M flag, here we have an NM flag. But this particular one, in the case we also have a region. Instead of showing it as an item, we are showing it as a region. Just observe it. Let's see the result and we can understand. But this is used very frequently, switcher. Whenever you have a different switches to be compared in the output, we'll be using it frequently. So here it is showing some header region, right? Of course, it gave some error, I'll check it. Item uses view object, and we have to put okay. Should not be set on. Okay. Style text. Sorry, it should be message style text, right? It should not be. Okay, it should be message style text. That's the reason. Let's try again. Right? So for wherever different type of, see, for the manager it just shows a simple red color icon, but for the other persons, for that particular job type, it shows a region now. It shows an image followed by data type. Right?
Okay.
Got it?
So in that region, we cannot use message text input.
No, we can use it. That particular style was a quite different one. I used some other wrong thing. It was a static style text, that's a different one.
Okay.
You can have message text input also.
Okay.
Why we are getting the text box?
In this top here, this one I think because of header region or something you're getting. Because of header region, because this particular blue color one, above this one, blue color, right? Above this blue color, mm, yeah, it is coming above this region, right? Let me try one more. I think this header region is occupying that information. This header region only because of that. And let us try to increase the width also. Yeah, it's because header region only it is occupied. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. And coming to other thing, what we have is like there's a concept called bundled exception. There's a concept called bundled exception. And one more thing I forgot to show you. Did I show you attribute level validation? Attribute level validation. No, right?
No.
Okay. So this particular concept generally we come across. Like here, if you observe, whenever you want to throw any error on the page, you can simply throw on the top level. Nothing but your error or information will be shown at the top level. But there are chances that you have a requirement to show error at a component level. Nothing but on that particular field, your user may ask you to throw an error. On that particular field, you want to highlight that particular field. So if you have a requirement to throw errors on a particular field, and if you want to highlight the field, then you have to consider a concept called attribute level validation. You have to consider a concept called attribute level validation. So for this particular concept, what we generally do is we have to write our code. Either we can write the code in the Vivo, or we can write the code in the EOIMP also. We can write our code in the EOIMP also. In our case, I think we have this particular concept. What I'll show you. Yeah. So here, if you consider, I have written a method called in the do.dml operation. I have written a method called if value is equal to null. So what exactly it is doing is it is getting the value of your email. If your email is null, it will throw an error. If your email value is null, it will throw an error. So let's run the page once, and we can again discuss about code. And yeah, whenever you have the concept is whenever you have error to be thrown at the field level, you use this particular concept. Attribute level validation we call it as. Okay. Now just observe this here. I'll just delete email and click on save. Can you see? Email is required, and it will show this one also. It will show this row number 3. User can go to this row directly. And let's try again. I'll remove this one also and click on save. No, it is showing only for this one. Very fine. 1 minute. But that is a functionality. I have to show for all the rows. That is what I mean. Okay. But the concept here is like this is how it will be generally displayed. Email is required. So this is our FND message. And this is how it will display. Red color error mark. So how this particular one is getting displayed? How this getting displayed is based on what we have written in the do.dml operation. So in the do.dml operation, what I have mentioned is if value is equal to null. If value is equal to null. Generally, for our page level exception, we have written OA exception, right? Throw new OA exception there. For a page level, we have written OA exception. Now this concept is attribute validation. It is this exception name is attribute validation exception.
What is protected?
Sorry?
Protected void.
Oh, acha, protected void. Okay. So in the Java or OAF concept, we have 3 kind of access specifiers. We have 3 concepts of access specifiers: public, private, and protected. So
I got it now. Now I remember. Sorry.
it is nothing but your public API, private API of your skill people. Kind of, not totally, kind of. Yeah. So in this one, like whenever the value is null, so what we are doing is we are calling a API called OA attribute validation exception, and here we mentioned the properties here. The last 2 attributes, if you observe, it is your application short name as well as message name. Application short name as well as message name.
Oh.
And what is the attribute name? On which attribute you want to show an error? So here I mentioned the attribute name as email. So that is why when you observe the error, it is showing this email is getting highlighted. Maybe if you mention any other attribute name, that particular attribute will get validated. the attribute level gets validated. Okay, and here these are the default things we have to mention: primary key and entity name, and these are default properties we have to mention. The only thing is the last two attributes is your appropriate what you say AOL message and your attribute name, on which attribute you want to throw an error. In this case, we are throwing an error on this one, right? Let us say, let us consider that if you want to throw an error on the course, wherever the course is a CA, you want to throw an error. Let's try that. So you say now get course, right? Get course. Okay. And now what I will do here, instead of email, what I will do, I will write as course. And maybe you can have an appropriate AOL message. You have to have a different AOL message. Maybe you can check some messages. Okay, I'll just use this one, okay, error or something. Okay. So now here, yeah, course value is equal to, let us say if user selects a value as CA, I want to throw an error. Okay.
Sridhar,
Yeah.
either in our early classes, we were showing these exceptions, right? Using throw exception
Okay.
at page level,
Yeah.
and how that is different from this one. I mean, is this API used to retrieve messages from application, or
Now the difference here is like here, the difference here is we are able to show error at the field level, right? That's the only difference. We are able to show the error at the field level. So that particular exception which we have discussed earlier, OA exception, that API name was OA exception, which will raise the error at the page level. But this one, OA attribute validation, the name itself is OA attribute validation. So it will raise error at the appropriate attribute. It will raise the error at the appropriate attribute. That is the only difference. So we are highlighting.
okay, this is field level validation.
Yeah.
And can you show that? Can you show that API one more time?
Attribute level or yeah. See.
Yeah, attribute level. Attribute level. Okay. Okay, 1 second. So here, okay. So if you want to populate this FND messages at page level,
Yeah, we can
which
do,
API should we use?
we have to use OA exception. We have to use OA exception. See, in the OA exception again, it's an overloaded method. There are different ways you can pass it. Either you can pass a static message, either you can pass your FND message, and you can also pass FND message with tokens also. So it's kind of an overloaded API. So here we have mentioned our AOL message, right? Instead of this, we can also hardcode the value also. Instead of this, we can also hardcode the message value also.
Okay.
So I think your question is like for OA attribute, for OA exception, we have been using a hard-coded value, right? We never used any of the different messages. But we can use it.
Yeah.
We'll see that. We'll see that also.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So what we do is like we'll try to see that particular information in our generic component page. Okay. In the generic component page, what I will do is I'll throw different kind of exception which we can come across. So in our generate component page, let us say we create a new item and a region, so you can use it anywhere you want. Let's say application region. So in this, I'll create two buttons. One is for the purpose of single exception, and other one is for the purpose of bundled exception.
Okay.
Okay, single exception, single EX. And bundled EX. Bundled exception. Okay. Yeah. So now just consider this one. And the CEO what we do is go to the process form request. So here, like most of the time we have been hard coding the value, right? Most of the time we have been hard coding the value. But this time we'll use some of our eval message. We'll use one of the eval message. Some particular way. Something like this. It just try to use this one. The application ID 0 belongs to FND. So just say this is our message. You can use any message. You can give a custom message or maybe our existing messages. So what I will do? So new exception. Mention the application short name. Mention your eval message name. Message what you call message name. Message name. And followed by null. And followed by maybe based on information type, whether you want to show it as information type or whether you want to show an error type, you can mention appropriate. Okay. So whether you want to show it this particular message as a information type, error type, warning type, we can change it appropriately. But here the remaining parameters are mentioned as none, but I'll tell you what exactly those are also. The time being assume that you have to pass as none. Whenever you want to use any eval messages, we have to have these particular properties, the three properties. FND, your application short name, your message name, and the type of your message. Whether you want to show it as information, warning, error, those things you can control. Earlier we just had only two parameters, right? Earlier we have only two parameters. One is your message content followed by the type of your message. So this particular OA exception is an overloaded method. You'll find lot number of things. Can you see? There are around 7 or 10 types of there. 13 to 29. There are 4, 6. Total 9 types of exception you can raise it. I mean 9 ways you can call the OA exception. 9 ways you can call this one. Okay? And we are using this particular one. Right now we are using this one. We have 5 parameters, right? P5.
Mr. Sridhar, how did you go to that class?
Control click on this one. Control mouse left click. Control click on this one.
Control. Okay.
Control click. It will navigate to this particular file. Okay. This is for handling our single exception. And now we write the logic for the bundled exception also. So what button name is? So bundled exception, what is bundled exception is? Here, whenever you want to throw multiple error messages, how do you throw it? So generally what will happen is, once you get any of the single error, automatically your program will stop. Let us say, one example, consider scenario here. Now in our case, like student page also, when you have one exception, it is getting stopped there itself. It is not showing the error at the second level, right? Second row is not, it was not even showing it. So let us assume that you have a record where you have a validation from the email as well as email record. Now let us assume that if email is null, as well as post is null, you want to throw two error messages. At a stretch, nothing but one by one. So as of now, once you get an error, once you throw an error, automatically the program will stop there itself. It will not go further. If you write two error messages, the first row will be shown, the second row will not be shown to the user, because Our program stops at the first throw itself. Once you throw your error message, the program will stop there itself. Nothing but the second error message will not be shown to the user. Okay. So what I'm saying is, if you write a code like this, let us say if you have two errors to be shown, you should not write the code like this, two throws. So what will happen is it will stop at line number 119 only. It will stop the execution here itself. The second one will not be shown. I think it may give you compiler error also. You can try it. Can you see? You see compiler error. The statement is not reachable. Line number 120, it is not reachable. Got it? So when you have multiple errors to be shown to the user, this is not the case you have to use it. You have to use a concept called bundled exception. So what is that bundled exception is? So in this particular API here, we have a method called raise bundled exception. Raise bundled exception. Can you see this one? Raise bundled exception. So we have to use this particular one now. So just see this, how exactly we'll do. Okay. So this particular bundled exception requires a list object. This bundled exception requires a list object. Exception list. Okay. And to know appropriate which particular one, Java is the most selection. Okay. Now, what exactly we do is now we'll create our exceptions here. We'll create our exception objects. Exception 1 is equal to, you can write your new OA exception in all this stuff. Let's say we can have 3 exceptions now. We should have a different objects here for each particular contract. And now let's say that we'll try to use something. Some particular messages. Okay. Now we have to add up these particular messages to exception list array. Exception list. So not add, right? AX1, like this, we have to add up all the error messages. We have to add up all our error messages one by one. And at last, raise bundled exception, you pass your array now. You just pass array object, exception list, array object. Okay. And one more problem with this particular bundle exception is, if you want to throw exceptions of different type, it is not possible. Nothing but the list of content should be of same data type, same type, same exception type. If it is information, all should be information only. If it's error, all should be error only. Are you getting? Okay. That kind of flexibility we don't have it. So if it is an error means all should be error only. If it is information means all should be information only. Okay. Let's try this one. So this is called bundle exception. So this is also used frequently when you have multiple errors to be thrown. This also will be used. Right? Multiple errors, one by one. Of course, the information one, but multiple things are shown one by one. And our single exception is click on the single exception. Single one. Okay. So this is how we can use the exceptions, maybe a single or multi exception. And one more thing you'll come across. The other thing is called tokens. The other thing is called tokens, right? Nothing but passing a value. Can you see here? Somewhere. I'll show you. Whenever some record is shown, or maybe whenever you add up a new record, you can also create. Can you see here? Error in routine. This ampersand routine is nothing but a token, isn't it? Ampersand in the email message, when you mention any of the ampersand followed by a particular name, it's nothing but a token, right? So you'd like to pass the value to that particular token at runtime. So using your PL/SQL, your PL/SQL also can pass it, but in the OAF exception, how can you pass it? So it is a quite simple one. Let us show. I'll show you that one also. 1 minute. Let me consider one here. Let's say that this is your return message. Okay, this is your return message. Assume this is your return message. Now this particular error message is having a token called ampersand routine, right? Ampersand routine is a token name. So now if you want to pass a token from the OAF, what we have to do? So it is quite simple. So what I will do is I will create one more button now. Token based exception. Token exception. So in this one, if you observe this OA exception, there is one more property, right? Can you see this one? So third parameter, can you see message token? So this how we have to create. So first of all, let me do this one. What is the message name? The message name is audit fail. And the token name is this one. Ampersand routine is the token name. So I have to create here, instead of passing the third parameter, I am passing as null, right? Instead of passing as null, I have to pass a token array. I have to pass a token array. Let's see this here. Token array is equal to new. Our token name is, what is the token name? Routine. And what is the value? Let's say just pass something as OAF. Some name. Maybe based on your business, you will get appropriate value, right? Let me put this way. Okay, fine. So this message array, this message token array, I'll pass it to the third parameter. Can you see, as per the syntax of public OA exception, the first thing is your application short name and the message name, then followed message token, then the type of your message, and then last, I don't know what exactly this exception array is. Okay, this is all you have to pass it. Let's try. Correct. The value routine is passed from our OAF page. Okay. So these are the different types of exceptions you come across: single exception, bundle exception, and message token based exception, as well as attribute level validation. These are different things which you come across. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And yeah, so next class what we do is like we have different things like maybe we can work on our PLC based operations, following the PLC processor function from OAF. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay then.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Shreya.
Thanks.
Okay, Ravi.